This is Jenny Bell from Clarington, Ohio, and I'm listening to Barbecue Central.
Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show.
Ooh, this is nice!
And this is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. This show originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings, a live fire fun and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do all that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. And guess what? You didn't get the newsletter.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Best laid plans on a newsletter that never happened. So, for the diehards, both from a live fashion and a podcast fashion, you have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. We have now somehow made it to the first Tuesday of August. The first Tuesday of a new month means only one thing, and that first 14 past the first hour segment, our pal Malcom Reed will rejoin the show. It appears to me that Malcolm has a new cooker of sorts, so we'll talk all about that and that way of cooking and what the learning curve looks like, best things to cook on it. If you could possibly add on to it, there's a whole other side trail that I want to run down on this kind of cooking. So Malcom Reed, the pitmaster of Killer Hogs and the creator of How to Barbecue Right, co-creator of How to Barbecue Right, will be joining us in about 11 minutes from now. And then where you would usually find him 14 past the second hour on a first Tuesday, this time you find him 35 past the first hour. It is Sam, the cooking guy. You will understand why we have bumped Sam into the first hour once I tell you what's happening in the second hour, but Sam gracious enough to allow the quick bump in to what is typically not his portion of the show, that being 35 past the first, but we have plenty to talk about, and that will be a shortened segment. Remember, 35 past the first and second hour, 5, 6, 7 minutes shorter than the 14 past the first hour segments. So it will be an almost Malcolm and Sam, well, I guess technically it is a Malcolm and Sam Power Hour, except it is not Malcolm and Sam together doing an hour. It is Malcolm in his usual segment and then Sam 35 past the first hour. But however we get there, a Tiger Slam, a Grand Slam, a Malcolm and Sam Power Hour, it's going to be happening and it's taking up the whole first hour. Then we will move to the second hour. 2 weeks ago, we didn't have them. We had a Sam the Cooking Guy. We had a Rashid Phillips as well, but it's the other half of the embedded correspondence, Rusty Monson and Doug Scheiding. So they are going to be sitting in, and we will be running through what was the fourth Tuesday of the month embedded correspondence 100% assurity questions. I have changed some. I have taken some out. I've added some new ones in, but by and large, it is the same rundown of 100% assurity questions that we'll get takes from as far as Doug and Rusty are concerned. They were not available 2 weeks ago, but they are available here in the first Tuesday of an August. So now, as you see how the show lays out, that's why Sam's not in 14 past, because I want to make sure I got enough time. In the second half of the hour, wanted to keep the embedded correspondence in that second hour, give you a little bit of the same flavor, even though it's not typically when it happens. So that's how the show is laying out here this evening. Malcolm and Sam, hour number one, and the other half of the embedded correspondence in hour number two. Don't forget, you can follow me socially, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. And, of course, we say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show, where we have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. And this is the question. Would you care if this show went to podcast only with no live component? And currently 78% of you are saying yes, indeed, you would care if this show went to podcast only. Results of the poll question from what is now 2 weeks ago. Have you ever heard of the Taste Made Network? And 58% of you weighed in with a no. I was right along with you on that 58% until Jess Pryles had mentioned it the week before that. I had no idea, or I had never heard of what the Taste Made Network was, although our guest from 2 weeks ago, Amanda McAuliffe from McAuliffe Cigars, the Senior Vice President of Marketing, had heard of the Taste Made Network 10 years ago when she was living that lifestyle out in California, doing movies and indie TV shows and all that other stuff before she got into the cigar business with her father, now making some of the best cigars out there in the Nicaraguan area of the world, or we'll call it Nicaragua, why not? So let's start here tonight. And first, an update on the opener from 2 weeks ago. Many of you guessing correctly in private who I was referencing when I was talking about big companies telling people that run websites to take those posts down on info that is freely available to get on the internet. One more quick memo to big, medium, and small companies of manufacture and people in general. Look, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. Have we not come to figure that out here, August 5th of 2025? You put it on the internet. If it gets on the internet, it will be there now forever. That's why you won't see me in any D pics, because it will go on the internet and then it will never be off the internet. And heaven forbid somebody get a thought in their brain. Go to the Google, Greg Rempe, D pics, boom, there's one or two. I mean, one's bad enough. 20 would be 20 times worse than that, and the math carries. So companies, generally speaking, do better at protecting your secret stuff. Also, make sure that your trusted partners haven't gone ahead and listed your secret shit that isn't currently available yet on their inventory pages of their website, because some of you big retailers are guilty of that. And also, perhaps most importantly, if you think that somebody doing their job is making your job harder, learn that lesson, and then in advance of anything else that you're going to be releasing later in that year or in subsequent years, go around to those people and then make sure that you pay them to not talk about the stuff you are trying to keep secret. Make it worth their while. Keep all the information in the dark in advance of your launch time frame. That might include paying people to not post about stuff that they can freely find legally on the internet if they know how to do it. And then secondly, many of you asking why there was no show last week. Gang, What I have always said is this is an internet-fueled show. What does that mean? It means at its very core, the one thing that this show needs, perhaps even more than me as being the host and genius of the show, is what? The internet. And without it, no matter how prepared I am, no matter how excited I am to do a show, there will never be a show. Why? Because without the internet, there is no show. They can't happen. They can't pass mutually exclusively in the night like ships. They can't. Last week, a few minutes before I went live, the internet went out. That makes for no show. However, it appears that the internet is back up and running, at least to reaction that I'm seeing in InstaChat, at least on my live streaming software. That's odd. What, did I not? I should be streaming in 1080 too, 1080 as well. But on my vMix resolution, it's saying 720. Is anybody getting it? And on 1080, if you go to the gear cog, 1080. We got new internet here. I got the gig internet, up and down. I only care about up because I can send now much bigger information up to the internet. All right, Malcolm Reed is ready to go. Folks, let me talk to you quickly about Primo ceramic cookers. Like, what do we love about these things? I couldn't sit here and tell you just one thing that I love about them. I'm using it multiple times a week. I do find myself using it mostly with the heat deflectors, and I have a method to that madness as well. Not all the time. The other night, fired up the Primo to cook what? Elote. That's right, corn on the cob over a really hot screaming lump charcoal fire. I don't know, 10, 12 minutes tops. I mean, the thing was running around 500-600 degrees, so we're getting a nice browning of the kernels. And then quickly shut down the top and bottom dampers. I had a ton of charcoal left over. Covered up the next day after it cools down. I love it. So many things you can cook on it, so many different ways you can cook on it. You can use the pizza oven, you can use the Primo grill rotisserie. So many different accessories that are happening as well. You gotta love it. Only sold through dealers, so find one near you. PrimoGrill.com. That's PrimoGrill.com. And we're back with Malcolm Reed right after this. So stick around, be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Now I got to see if I can go from memory. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Fireboard 2, Fireboard Dry, Fireboard Pro, Fireboard Beacon, and the wireless Fireboard. Oh, the hell is that called? I got it right here. Pulse! Right, I remember that all on my own. The Fireboard Pulse. Visit fireboard.com for more information or ask questions. 816-945-2232 if you would like to call. Right, joining me now in the normal 14 past the first hour time slot and in a portion of the world that looks a little bit more familiar to me than last time, our pal Malcolm Reed from How to Barbecue Right. Malcolm, appreciate you joining the show as always. We have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. You are a guest. And the question is this. Would you care if the Barbecue Central show went to podcast only with no live component? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah. I want it to be live, man. That's what makes it special.
That's right.
We'll do it live.
Doing it live. 80% of the YouTube voting public also agreeing with you that they would like to have a live component. A lot of the feedback that I'm getting in the YouTube instant chat is they like to see faces, they like to see expressions, and that even if they don't catch it live on a Tuesday, they like to go back and watch the video. And I was thinking to myself, look, maybe it's no surprise to anybody that does a live show. If you have a decent audio podcast, I mean, you do. You have a decent podcast audience recorded. If you had that show live, I mean, it just makes total sense that it would be a much, much, much smaller percentage of people carving time out of their day to listen to the How to Barbecue Right podcast live edition or the Barbecue Central Show edition. The numbers are extremely skewed in the at your convenience side of things versus at your live. But as I've always said, I got to like the live audience the best because they are carving that time out on a Tuesday each and every week. And we do it for, since 2008 live. So a lot of these people hanging with me there. So I figured I'd throw the question out just for shits and giggles because I had been consulting with a few other folks that talked about doing it live. Have you so you've done it every so often. Did you and Rochelle ever talk about doing the How to Barbecue Right podcast live from the beginning?
We never really considered it because we knew that we weren't going to have a set time where we could record ours. So unless everybody knows Tuesday night's Greg night. So, to tune in to the Barbecue Central show live. But, and so we always knew that we were going to record it and it just works for us. But when we do live stuff, you're absolutely right. It's a dedicated audience to your live stuff. It's great interaction. People get to see it as it's happening. There's no edits. And so that's a side of it that's great to do the live thing, man. And my hat goes off to you for doing it for so long. It takes a commitment to give out your Tuesday evenings every single week, year in, year out. I mean, for a long, we're working on almost 20 years, man.
Almost 20 years.
That's incredible, Greg. It's incredible. That's why I look up to you.
Oh, fuck. Give me a break. I'm your biggest fan, so it's a mutual love fest, no doubt. Last month, you were, let's call it, in the Ozarks, and there were many decisions being made at that time, none more important than figuring out how you were going to outfit the new place with cookers. Yeah. What has made the cut? Has there been final decisions? Everybody needs to know.
So the only thing I'm missing is my Primo. I've got a Weber kettle just for, easy, fast firing up. I think everybody needs one of those. Yep. And then I've got my pellet smoker and I've got a Camp Chef flat top. So the only thing I'm missing is a Primo. And since I've talked to you, I've ordered an outdoor bar that's going to go out there. So that's going to be kind of the focal piece. And then my grills are going to be back behind it. I'm going to kind of create that outdoor kitchen just with the grills. I'm not going to do cabinetry in the back because I'm going to have some storage in my bar, but it'll be done after that. So as soon as they get the bar built.
In the back where all this is going to be, I'm assuming in the back, is it over cover or is it wide open to the sky?
No, it's under roof. It's under roof out back. So right off the back porch, when you step outside, you're under roof, and then you're on the bank of the river. So it's right there.
So 2 weeks ago, I was talking with, maybe it was 3 weeks ago now, David Gafford from the Barbecue Lab, and we got on the subject of building an outdoor kitchen. And I don't know if I was living in the 60s or the 70s on where I thought an outdoor kitchen was costing people these days. I was thinking, and this is like stonework and all the everything, $10,000, $12,000. Well, needless to say, after I woke up from passing out, David Gafford told me he had received a quote to build one in his backyard for well over $100,000. And then he started pricing out the different components. I didn't know that a grill that goes in, a built-in, by and large, is 3, 4, 5 times more expensive than the traditional Weber grills or, I don't know, whatever standalone grills that you're getting in. And then he was also comparing it to this modular kitchen that he was building at his church. So this would be akin to the stuff that Grilla makes, those stainless steel components. You can kind of pick and choose what you want and build something from there. Markedly less expensive than what he ended up building in his back porch. Long way to go to ask as far as your bar is concerned. Who are you sourcing for that? And you don't have to give specific numbers, but ballpark, what were you expecting to spend on that?
So I know how expensive that stuff is, and so I didn't go that route. I didn't go the expensive route. We actually found a company online, and man, I can't remember the exact name. It's something like outdoorbars.com or something like that. But these are actual someone building a wood bar. I went with like a U shape, and it's kind of got angled sides, so it gives me about seating for 8 around it. It's actually you have the choice to build it on casters or not. I wanted something that I don't know if that's the way I'm going to keep it forever. So I didn't go that built-in stone, all that, that expensive route. I went with something that's more functional for me. And if you had carpentry skills, you could probably build this yourself. I wanted the wood. I wanted a little metal on it just for trim, but it's basically wood. And so it kept the cost down. I think this one was maybe $1,200 plus shipping, something like that. And once I materialed it out, I've got a buddy here that works for me that's a good carpenter. He said, "Man, I can't build it for that." He said, we could definitely build it, but it would be hard pressed to build it for that price. And so I was like, well, that's a no brainer. We're going to see how it is. I'll give you, it should be here before next month's show.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to give you the rundown, and maybe I'll post some pics and stuff of it so folks can see what it is. See if it was worth it. I hope I didn't get beat, but we'll find out.
Would love to get your reaction next month as we look into that, because I guess up here we're coming up against what would be the close of barbecue and grilling season. I mean, next month will be September already, if you can believe it or not. So, depending on which way the wind is blowing, we could still have 3 or 4 really good months of weather here as we lead into winter, or it could start snowing by the end of October. Just depends on what kind of weather we're going to be getting out here. Changing gears, and a cooker that did not make it to the Ozark was the one that I saw in your most recent video, is Malcolm Reed cooking a piece of beef. That's not a surprise, but it was on a Santa Maria style cooker. So is this the latest cooker to enter the smokehouse, and how did this all come about?
So I've had that ever since we built the smokehouse. So it's been, I guess, going on 2 years.
Yeah.
I've used it when I first got it. Man, that style of cooking is new to me. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I'm an expert at open fire Santa Maria style cooking, but I love the challenge. I love the different aspect. It's totally different when you're burning down wood on the side and you're dragging those hot coals over and you're cooking on it and using the height of your cooking grate to control the temperature of it to slow or speed things up. And it's a challenge to cook on. Really great flavor, man. The one I have is called a Crank It Up. And there was a gentleman that through some buddies up at the Code 3 store, they kind of got me connected with him up in Illinois, and Collinsville, Illinois, I believe is their store. Mm-hmm. And this guy had some grills, and he was like, "Man, I'd love, if you're ever interested in cooking on one, I'd love to give me one." So he brought that grill down to me, and no strings attached. Just said, "Hey, man, I'd love for you to cook on this grill. Give me your honest feedback of it." And I told him right then, I said, "Man, I'm no expert." And so I had one of the guys came, I think Dalton, my buddy Dalton, he was doing some work for him. So he come down and cooked on it, and we did some tri-tips, some of the typical stuff that you think of when you think of that style of cooking. And I break it out every now and then, when it's not too hot. The summertime in Mississippi kind of sucks to cook on it because all that heat is on top of you. So I really like using it in the wintertime, in the late fall, the spring. Perfect time to fire that up because you get a lot of that residual heat. But it's a different style. For me, if you like, the flavor that you get from cooking over open wood, keeping your rubs and stuff simple. We don't, I don't use a lot of rubs and things when I do the Santa Maria style cooking. It's mainly salt and pepper. You think of the basics of cooking meat over fire. That's what it is. So yeah, it's not as pretty. I don't think you get as pretty a food as I could get when I'm using my pellet grills or the Primo or something like that, and I can glaze something up and really make it gorgeous. But it's pure meat meets fire on that style of cooking, and there's something about it that's fun.
How do you get it up and running?
So So here's what I do. I bought these little sticks of wood. They're probably 10, 11 inches long, maybe an inch by an inch. They're like little splits. A lot of times you'll see them use them in these pizza ovens that burn real wood. I found them in Academy. So I'll take those, and it has like a little, if you think of the way your fireplace works, where it has the little irons in it that you set your logs on, it's kind of a miniature version of that on the side of your Santa Maria grill. And so you stack your wood in there, and I use a couple of the tumbleweeds. I threw a few lumps of like lump charcoal under there and a tumbleweed under it just to get me a bed of coals going. Mm-hmm. And as that wood catches and it burns down, it falls in between the iron. And then you can kind of use this little tool that you drag those hot coals over. So you're not really burning wood right up under your meat. It's the hot coal bed that's producing that BTU, that heat that you're cooking on. Now, of course, I mean, I don't think anything can stop you from burning right under it, but the goal is to have a controlled heat source, not to just have a fire right under it. So
do you ever, once you establish the fire in the fire side of this grill, you're going to get ready to start cooking. I assume, obviously, you have a pretty decent idea, generally speaking, what kind of time frame you're going to be looking at and how much wood you're going to be burning in order to do that. Do you ever graduate up to, I guess, what would be traditional size wood splits, or are they always the smaller pieces, or does it depend on what you might be cooking and time?
See, I've never put a whole log on there. I've always kept the size pieces appropriate to the size of the grill. That way, I mean, if you put a whole log on there, it's going to take a lot longer to burn down and get it some embers, because you're really wanting those residual chunks of coal that you're making as it's burning down. So you don't need big pieces of wood to do it. I haven't mastered like how much it's going to take. I just keep a fire going. And this is like, if you love playing with fire, this kind of cooking's with you, because you're constantly tending a little fire on the side while you're cooking, and you're not messing with the meat a whole lot. I mean, the way I do it, say like I did that tri-tip in the video, I'll get a good sear on it, and then I'll start raising it up and getting it away from the heat. And that way I can watch it with my thermometer to see what the internal is, to take it off when I want to. But I always start it with the grate really close to those hot coals to get that grate super hot. That's going to give me that sear effect. That's going to brown that meat really good. And then once I get it there, I can kind of get it away from it. And I have no idea what temperature I'm cooking at, because it's all open. I mean, I guess you could shoot one of those little infrared guns at it and kind of see where you're at, but you just know it's hot, and you kind of put your hand on it and do that old, if I could hold it there 3 seconds, it's ready to grill. That's kind of what I'm going for. Then I just adjust the height by that. So it's a lot of play. I can't say like, oh, it's going to take me 4.5 hours to cook a tri-tip. I don't really, I just kind of go by the feel, man. It's kind of a style of cooking at a pure form, because, you're building the fire and you're cooking right over those coals. And there's something about it. If you're into that, man, I say get you one and try it.
So obviously the steaks are going to work really well. I could see chicken working really well at that. I would imagine, and I don't know what kind of time frame we're looking at here, or if you would have to be closer to the heat, do more of a direct rib type of a cook, but I would imagine ribs would be pretty good on that. Maybe where we start getting away from it is the bigger cuts. So brisket, probably not going to be cooking on a Santa Maria style grill. Plus, you're probably running through a shitload of wood at that point because you have open fire just consuming. Same would probably go for a pork butt, but your traditional grilling fare is probably going to be pretty unique and perhaps a whole different flavor profile, like you were talking about when you're doing it on a Santa Maria style cooker.
That's the way I look at it. Anything that requires a long, like a braise type cook, like what we do when we're smoking, we get it to a certain color, a certain internal temp, and usually we wrap it up with something, whether it's just butcher paper and tallow or whatever. Those cooks don't do too well on it. Now, I think you could probably use it to get it started, and then, if you wanted to braise something, put it over on the side and just let it roll. It's going to take a long, long time. But yeah, you tend to see your thinner cuts that tend to usually cook quick. That's the style of meat that you want to cook in it. And I tell you, man, if you've never had Al Fragoni on the Barbecue Central show, you need to reach out to him, man. I know you've probably seen him. He's doing a ton of this style of cooking, and I've learned a lot from him. And he's a wealth of knowledge. He's from Argentina, so this style of cooking is what he grew up doing, and it's really cool.
I have had Al on the show one time so far. So Is he the answer to the question who you consider to be the most elite open fire cook today?
Oh yeah, as far as I know personally, I don't know who the greats are of it because it's still pretty new to me. I've just noticed that the social media trend, you're seeing a lot of this open fire style cooking now. From not just in the Santa Maria grills, you're seeing like these Brio fire pits or the Solo stoves. They're making grilling components to those where you have a grate or you can put a little iron cross up and put some meat on it and cook it to the side. And that's still same kind of concept. You're using live fire to cook the residual heat from it. And so it's something that's totally different, new, and fun to learn.
So some of these Santa Maria style grills, if that's what they're all called in some form or fashion, they have additional, I'm going to call it a cage or a fence that also goes around this thing. And they're hanging peppers, and they're hanging tomahawk steaks, and they're hanging beef ribs, all off of hooks on the fence, more or less, capturing what is really just residual heat because it's even further away than the regular cooking grate that you can raise up and down. You going to be looking into getting a fence around that thing and hanging stuff as well?
I don't know. So I don't know if you noticed at the top of mine, but it does have an upper rack, and I have hooks.
Yeah.
So the first time we fired it up, man, I was putting pineapples up there. I had a string of sausages hanging on it. But for me, that was all just looks, man. And I think,
it didn't work.
When you think of that stuff, yeah, it works, but it takes forever. I mean, you got to have a pretty good hot one. I think you're talking about burning several, pounds of lump to get a fire hot enough to cook the stuff that's up top. It'll eventually get there, but I think it's more of a showcase. Like if you see that stuff, it's just so, it's so unique to see all this food hanging up around the grill. And, I don't know if it's more of a showpiece, something to talk about than it would be the actual best way to cook it.
My fear would be if I was the one cooking it is if I didn't have that type of fire ferocity that you were talking about in order to cook it. How long are we in the danger zone here? If you're not getting enough heat and it's taking too long to get wherever it needs to go, well, it's hanging out in bad areas, unsafe temperature areas. And how long is that doing? So I would hate to, great from an aesthetic standpoint, especially if you have a bunch of people over, but maybe there's also sausage in the pellet cooker somewhere or in the Primo somewhere, and magically that's the sausage that actually gets served when you bring everything inside or when you're on the other side of the deck to serve it to everybody, and the other stuff goes into the side yard or you feed it to the dog and, go from there. But yeah, I've often wanted to get my hands on a Santa Maria style cooker and give it a whirl, see what the fun is all about. And you're definitely motivating me. I mean, also, I think it's very refreshing for somebody who is widely looked at as the superior online barbecue guy to sit here and tell me, hey, this really isn't my style of cooking. This really isn't in my wheelhouse. Sounds like there could be, I don't want to call it anxiety, but there is an uncomfortable feeling that, or it's just something you're not used to, not getting you to the point where you're like, hey, I'm not going to try it, but it's probably like, hey, we're all going to do this together. Can't really tell you how great the end result is going to be.
That's exactly the way I go into those cooks. Like it's like I'm surprised when it turns out. I'm like, yeah, this worked. I did it, because it could easily be a train wreck, because it's really a lot of unknown for me, and I'm not embarrassed to admit it that I don't know how to cook. On some things, there's a lot of things I don't know how to cook on, but I do like learning. I think that's the important thing, man, to go out there and experiment. For you, like, okay, somebody novice, my first experience with one of these Santa Maria style grills was an attachment for the Weber kettle. There's a company out there, and it's been years since I bought one, but I'll see if I can still find it in my email or find that company. But it sits like, you take your lid off of your Weber and you sit this round Santa Maria on it, and it's got the crank and everything, and the whole grate goes up, so you can use your Weber. Oh, wow. And it's an inexpensive way to see if this style of cooking's for you too, before you invest in a true like Santa Maria style grill.
Anything you're looking to promote before I let you go here, Malcolm?
Oh man, I don't think so. I mean, if you just want to check out what we're doing, man, we have our weekly podcast, Shell, my wife and I, and we appreciate you having us on here, Greg. And man, just like you said, we've wound the summer down. It's hard to believe we're already into August. It's
Yeah.
going to be Christmas before we know it. But get out there and still cook. It hadn't got cold yet, especially down here where I am. So we got plenty of cooking days left.
Malcolm, always appreciate the time, and we'll see you in September.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, Greg. Always great to be here.
There he is, Malcolm Reed right there. How to barbecue right, howtobbqright.com, his website. And as of earlier today, 1.86 million of you subscribing to his YouTube channel. Sam the Cooking Guy is in the first hour. It's the Malcolm and Sam Almost Power Hour. Before we get to him, I'll talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers, whether you're chasing a grand championship or just aiming to impress your next backdoor backyard cookout. Big Papa Smokers has the rubs that deliver results. Trusted by competition pros and weekend grillers alike. Their award-winning lineup like Sweet Money, Competition Brisket and Steak, Cash Cow, and Cattle Prod bring bold, proven flavors to every cut. And for a limited time, we've brought back the fan favorite, Cucaracha, a fiery kick that turns up the heat on any cook. Barbecue Central Show listeners, this one's for you. Use promo code BBQ Central 25 at checkout. That's BBQ Central 25 all together. BBQ Central 25 at checkout for free ground shipping now through October 31st. So you got a couple months left. That's BBQ Central 25 at checkout for free ground shipping over at BigPapaSmokers.com. We're back with Sam the Cooking Guy right here. Stick around, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we thank Malcolm Reed for joining us last segment. Again, howtobbqright.com is the website, and at howtobbqright over on YouTube. Typically, you're finding him second hour 14 past on a first Tuesday. However, this evening, he has accommodated my request to move to 35 past the first hour. Where 3.82 million YouTube subscribers of his will see him this very evening. It is Sam the Cooking Guy. Sam, greetings and welcome to the beginning of August as we have less than 6 months left to get through 2025. Yes, go ahead.
I love Malcolm Reed. Everybody loves Malcolm Reed.
Who doesn't?
Right? What's not to like? But when Malcolm Reed says, it's going to be Christmas before you know it, he's actually incorrect.
Oh?
Well, it is going to be Christmas at some point, but before Christmas, I just made a little check.
All right.
It's going to be Labor Day, Columbus Day, Halloween, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Hanukkah, then Christmas.
Wow.
Malcolm, we just don't go from August to Christmas.
No. We have all those other great things to celebrate before we get to Christmas.
Please, for God's sakes. Why am I not loud enough in my own ears?
I don't know.
I need to turn that up. There we go. That's better.
Better? All right. Sound good here, which is all that matters.
Well, 1.5 minutes before we went live,
yes,
I dumped over my Yeti glass with beer and ice in it on the desk right here. Started yelling for Kelly, help, I need a towel.
Is it
a flurry of activity?
Is it Modelo?
It's a Modelo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
That's your beer.
Modelo on ice. It is, yeah. It's ours. We like it.
Do you did that beer come out of the refrigerator?
Mm-hmm.
And still with ice in the Yeti?
Yeah, and some lime. Yeah.
Yeah. Why the ice?
It keeps it cool. I mean, I'm not drinking it long enough. I'm not taking enough time that it melts, really. I just like it. I like it. Kind of slows me down a little bit. I don't know. It's a nice thing for me.
How could I possibly...
a nice beer is a good thing.
How could I possibly forget this? Before Christmas, Sam the Cooking Guy's birthday.
Thank you.
Like well before Christmas.
Yeah, I forgot myself. 2 days from now.
Yeah,
August is a big month. Yesterday was our 40th anniversary.
Saw that. Congrats.
Thank you. Tomorrow is Max's, my oldest, 37th.
Wow.
Thursday is my 66th. Jesus. Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought we were going to keep going. Sorry.
No. And so last night we celebrated our 40th anniversary and Kelly's cancerversary.
Yeah.
August of last year was when she was diagnosed.
Yeah. Great.
And then proceeded to kick the hell out of cancer.
Yes.
By the way, much like your wife did.
That's right. We have a pair of broads that are willing to kick ass and take names.
100%.
Yeah. By the way, next Tuesday, in case I forget, my dad's birthday. So how about that?
Let's give him a name, shall we?
Bill.
Bill.
Have you ever seen him?
No. Am I going to now?
Yeah, I got a picture of him. It's actually him and my mom. Ready?
How's the resemblance? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I think we have the same kind of olive-colored skin. Ready?
Go ahead. Where are you? Yeah, go ahead.
Here they are, right here. Bill and Connie.
That's a handsome couple, man. I'd like them. Wait a second. They don't look anything like you.
What do you mean? My dad looks exactly like me.
No. I just mean they look way nicer than you've described them.
What are you talking about? Way nicer.
I've heard your stories.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding. Hey, where do your people come from? Because we know nobody's from here. Despite what some people like to think.
You mean Rempe?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Where are the great grandparents or
Well, I believe if my math is correct, I'm 25% Sicilian and I'm 75% Italian. Although aesthetically, I look like I'm 75% Sicilian and 25% German, maybe even 85% Sicilian. Although everybody else in the family except my mom looks German.
Yeah.
So we're mostly German with a smattering of Sicilian. Not Italian, Sicilian.
Interesting. All right.
Here's a fun fact that you never wanted to know and that you were going to fall asleep on. Rempe is not necessarily what you would consider to be a German-sounding last name, right? No. However, if you stick an N on the end of that last name, now it becomes a lot more German-sounding, as in Rempen.
Oh, that does sound... You're right.
And when the Rempens came over from the Germanys, some of them decided to drop that N and go to Rempe, and that's how it all happened. In fact, there was a family reunion, 15 years ago, and they called it Rempenfest. How cute.
Were there shirts?
Yeah, there were shirts.
I like that. Apparently the officers at Ellis Island were a big part of changing people's names.
Yeah.
Right? Next, what's your name? Vladimir Wolondowski. Right. We're calling you Vladimir Wolf from now on.
Right.
But I don't want to be. You're now Vladimir Wolf. You can go that way or you can go back.
Yes.
Fine, I'll go this way as Vladimir Wolf. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Do you have an update on the Matt Osman bet welching saga? Have you been made whole?
I do. I have not been made whole. That's my update.
Andrew,
what do you think?
I have not been made whole.
Oh. What do you think's going to happen? What's it going to take?
I don't know. It's bizarre. He guilted you somehow after he didn't pay you for months. He guilted you into following him on Instagram, which hopefully, as soon as the show ended 2 weeks ago, you unfollowed him. And then still no payment on his bet. He bet $2,000 that you were going to get to 4 million YouTube subscribers. By the way, 3.82 million YouTube subscribers as of today. So it looks like 4 million won't even happen for like 20 months the way your accumulation is going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, somehow the first almost 4 million were cake. Getting past that.
I agree.
Well, it did take us 2011 we started. Between 2011 and 2018, 7 years, we had 30,000 subscribers. And then in 1 year gained 1 million, then another million, then another million. And then, and now we're languishing at 3.8. Nothing to sneeze at, 3.82. I'm not complaining, trust me.
Yeah.
Not complaining. That being said, it's hard. You hit a hump and then it's hard.
Well, as somebody who has tracked your meteoric rise on YouTube as far as subscribers, there was a point where I'm like, what the hell is going on? Do I mention this? Do I not mention this? And of course, it's something that we have to talk about. But then quickly you start going through all the other guys that have, big numbers. So big numbers to me would be anybody at 1 million or more. Malcolm
Right.
Reed is tracking the same amount of subscribers as you're tracking right now. Every month there seems to be about 10,000 new subscribers.
Yeah.
Which is, I wish I could get 10,000 subscribers
It's
a
fun.
month.
Listen, nobody's. I'm not complaining. Malcolm's not complaining. We're
Right.
happy. He loves what he does,
Yes.
and he loves where he is. I love what I do. I love where I am. Look, we're lucky, fortunate to have what we have, and we're good with. I'm good with it. Here's what we have, and what you can't find on your side of the internet. Our watch time on YouTube is substantially longer than the average watch time for our same category.
Yeah.
Substantially longer. Average watch time for cooking videos, somewhere around 1.5 minutes. We're almost 6 minutes.
That's it.
Which, that's it.
I watch 19 minutes every time.
Listen, I do that. I do that myself. I go, well, wait, what are they? What I don't know is, are they watching the first 5 minutes and then going to see it's like a porn. You have to see the thing complete, don't you? You want the money shot.
I don't know.
Money shot is
What are you
is
talking
the snapper coming off the grill. Don't play coy with me. You want to see the burger being compiled as opposed to just being in components on the flat top, that kind of thing. You have to see it. So I don't know. I've not looked into it. Maybe
surprised that YouTube doesn't have the tracking capability to see how viewers
I'm not saying they don't.
Oh, okay. I'm sure they have.
I'm not saying they don't. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm not aware of that. But it's interesting. A good 10 listener poll. If you're watching a cooking video and you don't watch it all the way through, do you at least go to the end to see how the thing finishes?
Of course.
To see how the guy finishes. I mean, how the dish finishes.
Oh, hey.
That's what I mean.
What are you talking about?
That's
so
what I mean.
let me peel back the curtain here a little bit. Let me see.
Yes.
Well,
peel it back a lot.
maybe I can't. I'm just looking at my statistics, and how do I get? Oh, okay. So let me show you this here. This is not going to mean a lot to you here. So this is my back-end statistical. So you can see right here the total show listens or downloads, almost 3.5 million total downloads. Here is what I'm looking at right here. 94% impactful plays, which means impactful plays are show listens, or the show listens through at least 75% of an episode. So
That's amazing.
that's huge. So an hour.
Advertisers should love that.
Yeah.
When we do an integration, because the statistic is so sad for how long people watch, generally speaking, we're outside of that in a very nice way.
Yeah.
But when we do an integration, which, to people that don't know, that term is a commercial. If I do a thing in the middle for, I don't know, you hungry root or, whatever.
Raycon earbuds.
Raycon earbuds. I haven't done that forever. They specify they want it in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They say that because they know people's watch patterns are not all the way through. Like I like the beginning and I like the end. Do I give a shit about the, I don't know. But I watch a lot of cop stuff on YouTube and my watch percentage is 100%.
Yeah. If I watch something
Unless
on
it gets-
YouTube, I'm watching everything right from the start to finish. I don't jump through stuff. Not to change topics, because August is continually the best month ever, I guess. Doug Scheiding is what the fuck is going on here? Let's try this again. Doug Scheiding is weighing in. August is Doug's 3-year clean of prostate cancer.
Attaboy, Doug. Prostate cancer.
So good for him.
You know what? And maybe it's because I'm a man of a certain age. What is Malcolm?
I don't know.
Suddenly?
I'm sorry. That was
Malcolm,
so
what are you
weird.
doing there? What was I going to say? Maybe because I'm a man of a certain age. But now I suddenly know a bunch of people with prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Who have had it. And everybody that I know that's had it has made their way through it.
Yeah.
Some with less, some with more, issues along the way.
Yep.
But everybody's gotten through it. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but I'm sure it's very high. The statistics of success through prostate cancer.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. At 49 years old, I had my first colonoscopy, and to be quite honest, it probably should have happened 5 years before that, and it maybe should have happened 10 years before that. So never think that you have to wait until you're 50, talk to your doctor, and demand that you want a colonoscopy. Get over the fact that you have to do the prep and you're going to shit your brains out for a few hours. Like, who cares?
Matter.
And
think of
get a
this,
colonoscopy.
weight loss.
Yes.
Weight loss. Think of it as an instant weight loss. Yes, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. Here's the thing. Guys,
sorry, by the way, Doug had
colon
cancer. Sorry, not prostate cancer.
I got it. Okay. I think men more than women are scared of going to the doctor because of what might come out of that visit. They don't care about what goes on. Grab my nuts, stick your finger where you have to put it. Nobody gives a shit about that. What we don't want to have is the bad news that might be associated with the outcome. And I think guys in general are concerned about that stuff. So we stay away from it. But if you have anybody in your life that you care about, that's the reason to do these things. You should be here for them, for your children, now me, for my grandchildren, for my wife. I don't want to check out early because I ignored something. And that's the problem.
Right.
You ignore it. And that's when, you hear these people say, wow, I wish I'd done something earlier.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what happens today in the cancer world is you can deal with it if you get to it early enough.
Yep.
Kelly is a good example of that. She just not had mammograms. When Kelly was first diagnosed, we talked about it. And a friend of mine, we were on the news. A friend of mine texted me and he goes, dude, this is really important stuff. I appreciate you talking about it out loud. And I will now try and encourage my wife to have a mammogram. They're in their mid-50s.
Yikes.
Not young. And I went, dude, what is going on? He goes, she's really good about making sure I get all my medical stuff, but she's scared about it herself. Not scared of the procedure, scared of the potential outcome.
Right.
That's right. But that's the thing that has to change.
You got to know that more than anything.
There.
You got to know the news.
You got to be there on top of that. Of course.
Yes.
Because until you get the news, you can't deal with it.
What should I be cooking for dinner tonight? Tomorrow night.
Pescado zarandeado. Yep. I thought they'd get big eyes from
wow. Pescado de ranziado.
Zarandeado. It's that video will come out in I don't know, a couple of weeks. We're way ahead right now.
Wow.
We're like a dozen videos in the can, which we never are. It is what I think we're going to call it. Is this the best fish taco ever?
Oh.
And so
is it?
You could look it up. It's the best fish taco I've ever had.
Is that like you have to put that in all the titles?
Best? No, that's Max. I fight with Max all the time.
The best hamburger ever 2.0. It's always the best.
Here's the problem. We shoot the video. It's YouTube. The whole thing's going on. I take a bite and I go, this is the best thing I've had. Max turns that into the title. I go, dude, you can't use the best for everything. But in this case, the best fish taco I think I've ever had. The best shrimp taco I ever had was tacos Gobernador, Governor tacos. There was cheese. Go just check out the video that we did a couple weeks ago. Tacos Governor, Gobernador. Unbelievably delicious. Unfreaking believably delicious. And there was cheese involved. And I know everybody's like, oh, you can't have cheese and fish. Yeah, fuck you. Certainly can. Yes.
You know what Meathead says?
Can. What does he say?
No rules in the kitchen or the bedroom.
You know what? He's right. This whole white wine with fish and chicken and red wine with meat, that's all bullshit. Have what you want to have.
Right.
Eat what you want to eat.
Trust
but
your palate.
Get it. Yes, but get a colonoscopy. That's what you need
By
to
the
do.
way, thank you for the shout out in your story. I was going to mention that I've seen quite a number of burgers through the Sam the Cooking Guy video chain here recently. And then on the Instagrams, as you're working through your 748 days of eggs, you also put on a Bubba Burger, like a 15-story Bubba Burger thing, which I thought was great. And you mentioned me in the very beginning as being an inspiration. I'm taking liberty with inspiration, but you mentioned my name.
Except I screwed it up. I double punched on the building of them, but I have an update. Ready for an update?
Yes, please.
Kelly didn't like it.
Bullshit. She said it was 9.5 out of 10.
You know what she said to me after that the next day?
I lied.
I can't believe you liked it that much. She goes, well, I felt pressured. I go, pressured for what?
Oh no!
She goes, you were gonna put this on the. You were doing your story. I thought I had to say it. I go, I didn't want you to say that stuff. I want you to be honest. We've got 4 in our freezer.
Yeah,
they come in a 6-pack. We have 4 in our freezer.
In the trash.
I vacuum sealed them in 2s. I will give a 2-pack to each of 2 of the kids.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't want them in the house.
Wow. She hated them.
And as
Did
I
you
was
hate
honest,
them?
I said, I don't know if I liked them or hated them because I put so much good other stuff on them. Fried egg, caramelized onions, the sauce I made was
what didn't she like? You probably overshot them.
Didn't overshoot them. I know how to cook a burger.
Yeah,
especially when a guy like you goes, don't fuck them up.
Yeah.
I didn't fuck them up.
You're getting me confused with that chef on Instagram who yells at everybody.
Let me see if you respond to what I'm. Let me see if you respond to what I'm about to say properly.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yes.
OH.
I-O.
Attaboy.
What?
Just making sure. There you go. It's on your shirt.
Anything you want to promote before I let you go tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to my Instagram.
All right.
Hit follow, and you'll see the 30 days of eggs.
Yes.
It's the best single food item on the planet.
30
and
days
if you're an
of
egg
eggs.
fan, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry I decided to do this.
It is like so after
much more work than
after 12. Okay, here we go. Here's where I'm going to start to hit a snag. Okay, so scrambled eggs, yes. Omelet, okay. Fried eggs, or let's say sunny side up eggs, okay. And then next day over medium eggs, okay. And then next day over hard eggs.
No, I'm not. No, that's bullshit. No, I'm not doing that kind of bullshit.
I got to 7, but there's still 23 days left.
Sunny side up. No, we're doing marinara ones. I made a carnitas Benedict. Mortadella sandwich with an egg in it. Maybe the greatest sandwich known to mankind.
But it's not single ingredient egg dishes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
I got pizza eggs coming up.
Pizza eggs.
Pizza eggs.
Wow.
Best fucking thing ever. Best thing ever. Sorry to swear.
Go to Instagram and follow Sam if you're not. I'm sure most of you are.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Wait, no, they're not. Wait, one quick question. What's so important that I was at 6:35 tonight?
I have the other half of the normal embedded correspondence available to do the 100% assurity questions that you and Rashid filled in for 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's nothing necessarily normal about any of them.
I understand.
That's my take.
I just meant normal in the recurring sense, not
usual. Usual, you mean?
Usual.
Not normal.
Yes, usual sounds almost racist, okay. So I don't want to do that.
I will tip my hat to them. I'm in awe of them. I love them. Any chance I can fill in for any of them, I'm happy to.
Well, we thank you for that, and it was great. I got a lot of great positive email. I got some great not so positive email as well about you, but I don't want to share.
What was it? Tell me what it was.
I can't talk about it now because we're getting to the top of the hour.
Please make a note. I want to know what people say shit about me.
Hold on.
Please.
All right. I'll make a note. We'll bring it up in September. Oh, my God.
I talk too much. That's what it is.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
He talks too much.
No, you'll be shocked.
Because I'm Jewish.
No, it's still no. Believe it or not, people are coming around to the Jews.
No, they're not.
I think.
Good for
Well,
you for saying that. Thank you. I got one.
I'm trying to change
There's
the
one.
narrative, Sam. I think people are
Honey,
coming
we got
around.
one more on our side.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus Christ.
Who doesn't love the juice? Don't answer that. All right. Sam the Cooking Guy is here. TheCookingGuy.com is website. And we will see you in September, my friend.
Yeah, peace out. Bro.
There he is. Sam the Cooking Guy. And I felt like, man, we got to get out too because Doug loves to jump. Oh.
This is Michigan embedded correspondent John Solberg, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Doug loves to jump the gun and get in early. So we're a little over, but that's all right. Don't have any ads. So we'll come back and wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And we do thank Sam the Cooking Guy for joining us last segment, thecookingguy.com. Or if you want to buy his stuff, shop stcg.com. If I could mark out just for a moment. If you're in the market for knives, you got to get all the knives that he's selling. I can't sit here and tell you how great these knives are, by the way, considering what some knives cost. These are easily professional grade knives at a value price. The chef's knife, the machete knife, the bread slicer, the paring knife, the Nikiri, the Santoku. I don't even know the names of them all, but I have all of them. He sent them to me for free. But if I didn't get them for free, knowing what I know now, I would buy them. For instance, Bobby moved into an apartment just outside of Pittsburgh this past weekend. It's a very good chance for Christmas she's going to get a set of Sam the Cooking Guy knives to use. They're incredible. If you're in the market, if you're looking for a holiday gift or a birthday gift, start your collection of Sam the Cooking Guy knives. I'm not just saying this because I like Sam. They're fucking great. They keep an edge. The handles are nice. The weight's good. I have abnormally big hands for a guy my size. You know what that means? Big feet. They're great. Highly recommended. All right, let's head to the second hour. Stick around. We'll be right back.